Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock.
So, welcome to Horror Hideout.
And our serial killer month.
Yes. So, we are doing 2 Criminal Minds episodes that were recommended by my sister.
Which we'll do those as one episode today.
Yes.
And then we've also got the movie Seven.
Yes.
We've got, we're kind of trying to throw in one that's kind of a lighter, like for every topic. Like if it's obviously Shark Week or Shark Month is going to be crazy, silly ones. But, so we're doing one called You Might Be the Killer.
Yes.
Which, have you seen that one yet?
Mm-mm.
Kind of, sort of, Final Girls, but not as good. And then our book, we've kind of went back and forth on what our book for serial killers were going to be. And I just finished Blackmouth by Ronald Malfi. And it fits so perfect with what we're doing.
One of the episodes we're going to talk about today.
Well, that and just the whole serial killer thing. So, serial killers. So.
And we're also doing a psychological month. And some of the stuff that we're talking about this month could probably also go in psychological month. But I think that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of them will cross. I mean,
yeah.
But we picked, Seven I haven't seen forever. You hadn't seen Seven before.
I had, and when
I
watched it.
recently watched it,
yes.
and that's why you suggested it.
I recently watched it for the first time and then suggested we do an episode on it.
I've never watched Criminal Minds, so that's kind of cool. And then I've only seen You Might Be the Killer once, and you haven't seen it, and Blackmouth was a new read for me, and it'll be new for you. So it's kind of cool to dig into some stuff we haven't, we've done pretty much our favorites for so far. So, but today we are doing 2 Criminal Minds episodes.
One's a season 10 episode called
Mr. Scratch.
And one's a season 14 episode called Tall Man.
Yes.
And do you know the number, like what episode they are? It doesn't matter.
No, I sent them to you.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember. I know it was season 10 and season 14, but other than that, it's not a big deal. So, I can just talk about what Criminal Minds as a...
14, episode 5, Mr. Scratch is season 10, episode 21.
Okay.
But I have some interesting stuff about Mr. Scratch. We're doing that one first, right?
Yes, but I was going to give them a synopsis of what Criminal Minds is before we get into the actual episodes, because people may not be familiar with the show Criminal Minds at all.
Before you get into that, I just want to say I have never watched Criminal Minds, and I watched these 2 episodes, and I'm like, dang it, there's 20-some seasons of this, and now I need to watch the show.
Yeah, I watched up to season... I may have been season 10 or season 8 or something. I watched a good chunk of it, and then I think that was during COVID. But stuff like that kind of gets stale to me after a while, where it's kind of just the same thing over again. And then, they had, characters that left, and they introduced new characters, and, I don't know. It just,
Aaron really likes NCIS, and I just can't. I can't get into that one.
Yeah. Well,
some
anyway.
episodes are pretty good, but then there's other ones I'm like, this is just cheesy.
Criminal Minds, for those of you who don't know, is about the BAU, the Behavioral Analysis Unit of the FBI. And so what they do is they profile serial killers. So based off of the information they glean from crime scenes and things like that, they put together a profile of we think it's a white male in his mid-40s or whatever. And they use the clues that they found at the scene and the victims and all that kind of stuff to figure out who they think, a general description of who they think could be the killer.
Like a profile.
Yes,
of who the killer
yeah.
could be. So, when we were talking about doing our serial killer month, my daughter, Dawson's sister, recommended these 2 episodes, and I had kind of forgot she said it, and then she's like, Mom, you have to. So, she recommended these 2 episodes, but a lot of what they deal with, from what she told me, is serial killer type stuff.
I'm sure they have done some other things, but for the most part, that's what it is.
Well, she said these are the 2 scariest ones, so.
They're really not that scary. I mean, they're not.
The twitchy girl in Mr. Scratch was probably she just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. I like them. I wasn't saying they're bad episodes. I just don't think they're my sister, after she watched them, was like, oh, I could not sleep after I watched this episode, and I didn't think it was that
I didn't either.
intense. But so we're doing Mr. Scratch first.
Mm-hmm.
So you can give your little fun facts.
No, let's talk about those at the end.
Okay. So
the end of the episode.
Okay. So is there anything you wanted to say about it before we get into it?
It kind of reminded me of like a Supernatural episode at first.
Yeah, and that's how it has a kind of similar format to like the old Supernatural episodes where you get the cold open of someone like dying or being accosted, and then it goes in and like follows them as they're investigating it. So it kind of is a similar, although this is more grounded.
Yeah.
I still think it takes some like creative liberties and stuff.
Yeah. So in Mr. Scratch, we meet 3 different people who are accused of murder. One man is accused of murdering his mom. There's a lady that's accused of murdering her boyfriend.
And then the guy we see at first murdered his wife, right?
Yes. But he swears that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
That it wasn't him. That it was a shadow monster.
With talons for hands.
Yes. And we actually, at one point, see his shadow.
I was going to say, every time we see him in shadow.
Yeah. So,
Unless because he is the dark creature, maybe that's just what he is supposed to be, as the shadow. I didn't even think about that.
I just kind of thought from the camera angles and stuff, it was his shadow, but...
Yeah.
Splitting hairs on that one.
Yeah.
And I'm horrible with names. We all know, me and Dawson talked about that. Both of us are terrible with names. Yeah. So, married guy, we meet him first, and he's been arrested. And he's telling them it was not him that did it. It was the shadow creature. And he said...
It pulled him down the stairs.
His wife... They were going to bed, and his wife heard something downstairs, so he went to investigate. And then he went to go back upstairs because she started screaming, and you see kind of his creepy hands come out, and he pulls the guy down the stairs.
The shadow person.
Yeah.
Mr. Scratch.
Mr. Scratch. Which we don't know that's his name yet.
Yeah.
And then we hear his wife, and she's screaming his name, and no, stop, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Kind of begging for her life.
And then I think it's Hodge that's talking to him, and he tells the guy, well, the police found you with a kitchen knife still in your hand.
Beside her or something. Wasn't he in the bedroom? Still in the bedroom?
Yeah.
So he says it's not what happened, that he didn't do it, that it was the shadow creature. But they have his DNA on the knife. They have all of this evidence that it was him.
He also mentioned that before this all happened, he smelled sage.
Yes. Which made me think of the Meadowsweet episode of Supernatural.
Yeah.
I always go back to Supernatural.
Well, this reminded me of something else too, but I'll get to it whenever we get deeper into the episode.
Okay.
But so we meet him first, and then is this when we kind of find out, like, because we know there's 3 victims, but I think we just talk to him, and then they're doing research, and they find out they're all adopted, and that's the thing they have in common.
So the victims have nothing in common. There's 2 men, there's a female.
One was a mom, one was a boyfriend, one was a wife.
Yeah.
They got murdered.
They don't live in the same area. They're in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
There's no demographics that say, hey, this is who they're going to target next.
But Penelope Garcia, discovers that they were all adopted the same year, but they were from different states and all around, like...
Yeah. And, so we end up getting an interview with the guy that murdered his mom. And it's kind of basically the same story that our first guy told us.
But he claims to have been tied up with ropes and sexually assaulted.
Yes.
By the creature, Mr. Scratch.
And they do tell him that we've had a rape kit done and there's nothing... Can I say that word?
Yeah.
That they've done the rape kit and that there's nothing...
He was not assaulted.
Yeah.
And I did want to mention back on the first guy, after the first guy gets done talking, whoever's talking to him is like, do you realize you're scratching yourself? And he was scratching at his chest, and he's got, like, bloody marks where he scratched his own chest. Or no, it's from his wife.
Yeah, he said it was offensive.
Yeah, so he's got a scratch on his chest from his wife.
But it was kind
of cool. But he was scratching it.
It was kind of cool the way they did it, because they're, like, long, so, like, we had seen the shadow person.
Yeah.
And so it could have kind of been, like, from him, because they were so long, but... And I've never like I said, I've never seen the show before I watched these episodes, so I wasn't sure if they ever went like a supernatural, not the TV show Supernatural, but like just a supernatural
like
direction.
Yeah.
So I was really invested in this episode.
So.
So then we meet the lady who murdered her boyfriend.
And she just kind of, she won't talk, and she's just kind of shaking.
She's kind of catatonic, like.
Yeah. Is she rocking back and forth?
No, she's sitting at a table, but she's like, I don't even know how to describe.
She's like touching her face.
Yeah, like twitching her hands.
Yeah, and that's like a, when people are nervous, that's like a reassuring technique to like touch your face.
Yeah. And so she won't talk to him. She won't.
I mean, she won't talk, period.
Right, she won't. I mean, she just looks rough and,
like she's in shock.
But the two guys both mention Sage.
Yes.
So they decide they're going to take Sage into her.
And they both describe the creature the same way. They even both use the term talons.
Yes. And Shadow. I think they both call him Shadow Man or Shadow Person or something. So I don't know characters' names. I haven't watched enough of the show, but so they decide they're going to bring Sage into the room where the woman's at.
Yeah.
And she starts kind of freaking out, and she's like, he's coming.
And I think at some point before this, they had mentioned that they were theorizing that they may have all been in the same group home at one point in time. I think they mentioned that before this.
I think so. I don't know. I know they do at some point, but I don't know if it was before now. That's kind of like a later reveal. But they're like, who's coming? And she says, Mr. Scratch, he's here. And then all the lights in the police station go off.
And she starts, like, scratching her face. Yeah. Like, bad. Like, pulling off skin.
Yeah.
And was it Penelope had something hooked into her computer that was causing it to happen? Originally?
I can't remember.
Well, because she starts unplugging everything and she tells everyone to plug anything in. I mean, unplug anything that's plugged in. And then one of the guys is like, oh, the only way someone could do this was if they were with NCIS, I think.
NCIS?
Or something like that. It's another CIA, something like that. It's some other government organization that they mention.
I can't remember this part. Aaron was watching NCIS last night, and there was an episode where they hacked Cassie's computer on NCIS, so I'm not going to say anything because I can't remember.
It's something like that. Someone has hacked into their network, basically. And basically, they're like, the only person that could do this would have had to take this specific class at Harvard and stuff. So then they contact a guy from, like, the CIA or something and get information of someone. Or, like, everyone that's attended that class, surveillance stuff, something like that. I don't remember this episode as well as I remember Tall Man.
I probably remember this one better. I just, like I said, this whole computer section I don't remember.
So anyway, their system got hacked. And I'm not quite sure if it was that, like, Penelope had gotten a hold of a drive from someone that was, like, left at a scene or what. But they got hacked.
Go ahead.
What happens next?
I don't remember.
Well, she's still freaking out, and she scratched up her face.
And the lights go out.
Yeah, we said all that.
And so then they go...
And did we say that she, like, age regressed, and they ask her how old she is, and she says she's 4?
Oh, no, we didn't say that.
Well, I just said it.
Before that, we didn't say that. Because they offer her something to eat or drink, and she says she wants a Snoopy popsicle, purple Snoopy popsicle or something.
I think it's a snow cone. Is what she says. But, yeah, so, because she asks if it's snack time first. So then that's when they end up, and then she says she wants that. And then that's when she says that she's 4 years old. And
so, another team of people, I mean, same, obviously, Criminal Minds group, but a couple people are at the guy's house, our first guy's house, looking for things.
Yes.
And
it's Morgan and Reed, isn't it?
I know it's Reed, but I don't know. He's like the only character I can tell you his name.
Okay.
It's only because your sister likes him so
yeah.
well. But they're trying to figure out, like, you know, there's no sign of anything. They can't figure anything out, and then they figure out that, hey, everybody says they smell something, so they find
a vent right next to where the guy passed out.
Yes.
And they find, like, tubing in the vent.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how that worked.
I don't know either. I don't know if it's something that was pumped in.
Because, it was just like this little short piece of plastic. I mean, it wasn't like a tube that would run out through the house. So I don't know. But it was just this little piece of plastic tubing. And it smelled like sage.
Yeah. So they do tests on it, and they find out that it's a mixture of hallucinogen, or yeah, I think it's hallucinogens, and then like stuff that makes you susceptible to following commands.
And sleepy.
Yeah.
Um.
And
Or it's kind of like it knocks you out, and then that stuff kind of kicks in with the, like when you wake up, you're kind of hypnotized.
I thought it made them like hallucinate though. Like it doesn't really knock them out; they're just hallucinating. Well, I don't know, but anyway,
you're right.
what I wanted to bring up here that I said I'd bring up later is this reminds me so much of Scarecrow from Batman, where he has the gas that makes you see your worst fear, and specifically like the version of Scarecrow that's in the Gotham TV show. Because spoilers for that, but there's an episode of Gotham that focuses on like Scarecrow, and it's in the actual like comics it's Jonathan Crane. Well, in this it's his dad, and Jonathan was born without a certain segment of his brain that causes you to feel fear. So he's doing these experiments to make people as afraid as possible, and then cutting out their adrenal glands while they're still alive to try to make a cure for his son, basically.
Oh my God.
And he ends up basically trapping his son in like a permanent comatose state. I mean, it's not actually permanent because later on stuff happens, but pretty much he's like constantly living in a state of fear.
Wow.
Yes.
Where were we at?
They had discovered that the gas was like, and he added the sage. Did they say exactly why he added the sage?
I think it goes back to the whole childhood thing.
That's what I thought.
That was a smell that they associated with.
Yeah.
So they figure out that all of these. So then we have another guy who is supposed. So him and his wife are separated.
Yes.
His young son comes in and he's like, "Daddy, I'm scared. There's a monster under my bed." He takes his son and puts him back to bed, and then he smells sage, and then he starts hallucinating.
Yeah, we start to see him hallucinate, and then we cut away, and we later find out that that guy ended up killing himself.
Yes.
And so the BAU theorizes that whoever is doing this tried to convince him to kill his son, and instead he killed himself to not kill his son.
Yes. And so we eventually find out that they were all in the same foster home.
Yes.
With, I don't know the guy's name, but they had all told. I got the impression it was sexual abuse. I don't know for sure if they ever say that.
So when they're talking about it, they're talking about the satanic panic in the 1980s and the accusations that people would make. Like, there was a daycare somewhere where someone had left a tip that like, hey, stuff is going on at the school. Well, there wasn't, or daycare or whatever. There wasn't actually anything going on. But when the people stepped in and were asking questions, they were asking like, hey, were you inappropriately touched? And the kids were just saying what the adults wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And they were making stuff up like one kid was like, yeah, and at the end of the day they would flush us all down the toilets.
Yeah.
And like they would take us up in a hot air balloon and then touch us. And they would murder people and worship the devil and stuff like that. And it was just, people were asking them questions and they were just running with it.
Yeah.
And they were giving the kids a chance to like add more onto it, and the kids were making up stuff about like the hot air balloon or being flushed down the toilet and stuff like that. Like stuff that makes no sense. But they were like believing it because, I mean, I'm sure they weren't actually believing like all of it, but they were believing these kids' stories, but these kids were just telling the adults what they wanted to hear.
Right. And like there was one I know, and this may have been a book I read because Clay McLeod Chapman wrote a book called Whisper Down the Lane, and that's what the book is completely about, is the satanic panic. But like the teacher making all the kids get naked and do a parade every afternoon in the classroom. Like just wild stuff that you would have thought before they asked questions, if it was really happening, the kids would have told. Yeah. You know?
So in this...
Which it kind of makes you think of right now, like recently, kids, like one little girl brought home the sticker and she said, "Look, Mommy, this is my sleepy time sticker."
Yeah.
And the teacher was putting those stickers on them to make them sleep
Yeah.
all afternoon. I mean, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But basically, these kids, when they were in a group home together, made up a story that they were being attacked by Mr. Scratch. So they ruined this guy's life. And I don't think Mr. Scratch is his real name, but it might be. I don't remember. But what you said about like the sexual element, the BAU says, oh, like the one kid told the story of, oh, he got pulled down the stairs, and this other kid added, oh, I was sexually abused.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they were feeding off of each other and stuff. And they talk about how like people, and this is a real thing, people can like fabricate memories in their head.
His
like
name's Peter Lewis.
Okay. When you believe something long enough, you can convince yourself it happened. And so basically, this hallucinogen stuff is making them see what they claimed happened in their childhood, that their mind is pretty much convinced themselves is real, and they're lashing out at the first person they see.
So Mr. Scratch, Peter, didn't run the daycare, or didn't run the group home.
Okay.
His parents
Yes.
did.
Yeah, they do talk about that.
And they claimed Neil was Lewis's father. He would dress them up as the devil, and that made them. There were accusations of child abuse and satanic rituals. And so then, when his father was in prison awaiting trial, he was murdered in prison. And so Lewis is getting revenge on the people.
And so, do you want to... What happens after that?
So they figure out who it is, and I can't remember how they figure out it's
I think
him.
they talk to that guy from another agency.
Okay.
And they get information from him there.
And so Hotch goes to Lewis's house to confront him.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know why he went by himself. It didn't make...
I don't know. They do stuff like that sometimes, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
So Lewis convinces Hotch. He does the same thing to Hotch, and he tells him that he's getting ready to come through the door and he needs to shoot. Well, it's actually the team coming through. And
before that, we see him go through, or is this part of the hallucination?
Will they get shot?
Yeah.
That's the
No. I'm talking about him telling him he's coming through the door. Isn't that after the hallucination?
Yeah.
So before all that happens, Hotch is like drugged at the time, and he has this whole hallucination where the team comes in and they're clearing the house and stuff, and then he ends up watching Morgan get shot to death in front of him.
Well, yeah, but a couple other ones get shot too.
But Morgan's like right in front of him though, like dying at his feet. Well, he snaps out of that, and that was hallucination. So then, as he's suggestible, the guy's like, "Hey, I'm about to walk through that door. You need to shoot me."
I know what we missed. I know why he hacked into the computer.
Okay, go.
He was looking for Dr. Susanna Reagan, who was the one who believed the kids and pushed to get his dad arrested. Like, she was behind the Believe Children movement. So Hotch, actually, that's where he goes. He doesn't go to Lewis's house. He goes to her house.
Okay.
To save her. Yeah. And she shoots herself.
In front of him. And she says, like, "I want you to see this," or something like that before she does.
Yes. Now we're back on track.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I had to read through my notes real quick.
So then after Hotch, like, goes through the hallucination and everything, Morgan comes through the door, right? I think it's Morgan. One thing
I thought was really... like, one of the lines in this episode that stuck with me was after we see all that and we figure out it's a hallucination, Lewis says, "Thank you, now I know what your biggest fear is."
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Like, he feeds on your...
Yeah.
You know.
It's like Scarecrow from Batman.
Yeah.
He feeds on your fear. But, so, instead of Hotch shooting Morgan when he comes through the door, he turns around and shoots at Lewis.
Yeah.
And Lewis gives himself up? Or do they just catch him? Because I think he gives himself up.
Does he? I can't remember.
And then he tells Morgan, "You don't realize the damage I've done."
Yeah.
And then the episode ends with Hotch in an ambulance, like sitting on the back of an ambulance, and Morgan comes over. I think he's on an ambulance.
Yeah.
And Morgan comes over and says something to him, like, what all happened, and then Hotch is like, "This is what happened. This is real." And, like, it's like that hallucination and stuff messed him up in the head.
Yeah.
And so, like, how can he know if this is actually happening or not?
So, Mr. Scratch derives from Old Scratch, which is a New England folk name for the devil. Which I thought was cool.
Okay.
And then you haven't seen this because you haven't watched this far, and I haven't either. But he comes back.
Okay.
He's a pretty major player later on.
Is he like a Hannibal Lecter type?
It says he later escapes with 12 other serial killers in season 11 and is the primary antagonist through season 12.
Okay.
So Mr. Scratch is kind of a big player in this show.
And the guy who plays Spencer Reed at least directed both episodes we're talking about today. Did he write both of them?
Matthew Gray Gubler?
Yes. Gubler.
Directed.
Okay.
He also physically portrayed Mr. Scratch on screen. And he drew the monsters, the drawings the victims did of the monster. He drew both of them, one with each hand to make them look different.
Because in the episode, they go back to the two guys that were talking and get them both to draw the monster they saw.
Yeah. And so, do you have anything else to add on this episode?
On this episode, I don't think so. The main thing I want to talk about was how much it reminded me of Scarecrow.
Yeah. So we're going to move right into Tall Man, which is season 14, episode 5.
Yeah.
And again, Criminal Minds. So, you said you remember this one better than you do the other one, so I'm going to let you talk.
So, because I also watched this one after I watched the other one.
Well, I did too,
But, so, the kind of cold open to this one is we see 3 girls go out in the woods, and one of the 3 girls is chanting, like, it reminded me of the dead man, come alive thing we used to play on the trampoline, but she's saying, tall man, like, come out or something.
Yeah. And Dawson said girls, but, I mean, I think they're, like, 15.
Yeah, they're, like, high school age girls.
I just didn't want people thinking they were, like, 8-year-old or something.
But, basically, the girl that's chanting it seems like she has convinced the other 2 to come out in the woods.
Yeah.
And to look for the tall man, because she believes the legend.
Yeah.
And then after this, we see her run in to a campsite covered in blood.
And this is the next morning.
Yeah. And she's babbling that the tall man has her friends.
And her name is Allie, and she's the only one that
got away.
Yeah. I say survives, but I knew that wasn't the right word.
So, she ends up talking to the BAU, and she's, like, in the interview room, and she's talking to them and stuff, or is she at the hospital?
She's in the hospital.
Okay, she's in the hospital, sorry.
Because remember, she keeps asking him if they're with him.
Yeah. And
I don't think that's till later on we find out why she's saying that, though.
Yeah. But, so she keeps asking the 2 BAU members that are interviewing her if they work for the Tall Man. Which again comes back, well, Tall Man was heavily inspired by Slenderman.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Slenderman is, he supposedly has proxies, which are people he controlled to do his work. So I think when she's talking about the Tall Man's minions here, it's a reference to the proxies from the Slenderman stories. And there's a story... not a story. In real life, there's an actual case where there were these 2 girls that convinced their other friend to go out in the woods to look for Slenderman, and then they tried to murder her, but she survived.
Stabbed her 19 times.
Yeah.
12 years old. But it says, the episode embraces the parallels between the Tall Man and the Slenderman. The show makes the point the Tall Man doesn't need to actually exist to cause real damage, just as Slenderman did.
Yeah.
Which, I just ruined the whole episode, but obviously Tall Man's not real, so...
Well, yeah. And I guess this one is one that's not really about a serial killer.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it works.
Yeah, I'm not saying it didn't work.
It ties in with Black Mouth, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All of this fits together.
And now that I think about it, I think there are some that are kidnappings earlier on. Maybe.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking serial killer kidnappings. I'm like, wait, what? Gotcha now.
So, anyway, so she kind of tells her story in that she says that he stole all 3 of them away, and he was cutting all of them, but she has no cuts on her body.
Well, she comes out all bloody and stuff.
Yeah, I said that.
But then I just want to reiterate that when they get her cleaned up in the hospital, there's no cut. It's not her blood.
And
it's not her blood.
I think they identify the blood as the other 2 girls.
Yeah.
Or at least one of the other girls.
Yeah.
But I think it's both.
I think so. I think it was both.
And so now they're trying to figure out where the other two girls are.
So one thing we haven't mentioned yet is we find out that this is JJ's hometown.
Yeah.
And she's kind of reluctant to go back there, but she does because she wants to help put this to bed.
I'm going to spoil this, but you kind of learn later in the episode, part of the reason she's reluctant to go back there is because her older sister killed herself.
Yes.
And she's having to talk to people that, like, knew her sister, and like, one person even refers to her as, like, I didn't expect blah, blah, blah's little sister to be interviewing me.
Right. And isn't that guy, like, a teacher?
The one she's talking to that says that is she's interviewing him in an actual interview room, and it's one of the guy's father, one of the kids' dads.
Gotcha.
Who you're talking about is later in the episode. She goes to the school to see. I don't know if she's going there just for clothes, or if it's just because, like, it's her hometown.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she's in there, and she runs into a guy that used to be the guidance counselor when she went there, but is now also he's still the guidance counselor, but he also teaches literature or something like that. I think maybe it's creative literature or something. He says something specific, but I don't remember what it is. But so she talks to that guy for a little bit, and I don't think she really learns anything from him.
No.
So
we do have a flashback where she stole her older sister's necklace.
Yes.
I can't remember. Rosalind's her older sister.
Yeah.
And Rosalind goes in her room and she's like, give me my necklace back. And she's like, she asks JJ why she wants it. And she says, because you love it so much.
Yeah.
And so Rosalind gives it to her.
Yeah.
And that does come back into play. That's why I want to make sure we talk about that.
And so I think about this time, we find out that the girl who's in the hospital right now has schizophrenia.
Yes.
And because of that, she has facial blindness.
Yes. And that's what I was talking about. We were talking about earlier where they were interviewing her and she kept saying, are you with him? Because
you don't have faces.
Yeah. And so we find out that...
And I don't know if facial blindness is the right term, because I think facial blindness is where you don't remember people's faces. So maybe there's another term for this, like a medical term where you, like...
Right.
Don't... Like, you genuinely, like, can't really see people's faces. I don't know.
But, I mean, also, if you've got schizophrenia and you go through something traumatic like this, you may not... I mean, I'm not saying anybody may have issues, but, I mean, maybe the schizophrenia kind of, exasperates.
And we see a flashback from her point of view with the tall man, like, torturing her. And he's got, like, one eye that's, like, where there's no eye. Like, it's just flat there. But he still looks like he could be a person that was just born deformed. Yeah. Except he's freakishly tall.
It reminded me of Momo.
Yeah.
Not quite as... I mean, different, obviously. So, but when we see the flashback, it's like they're in this building, but it's got all these, like, colorful Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a very odd setting for you know, they're in the middle of the woods, and you would think it would be dark and creepy, and it's just like this kind of carousel-y, like, carnival-looking place.
But it's still grungy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just kind of... I mean, it was cool, but it was just kind of different for the setting. You know, it wasn't the dark and dingy and, you know, what you would normally think of.
So they kind of do this tactic on her where they get her to close her eyes and recall what happened and where she was, like her surroundings. So she describes her surroundings, and one thing she mentions is that there's purple stars on the ceiling.
Yes.
And JJ knows that there's a abandoned train car out kind of like in the middle of nowhere that teenagers go party in. And someone put the lights in there and put those stars on the ceiling. So they go to investigate the train car. But at this point, we see the girls tied up. And the tall man keeps asking, and we see the tall man wearing like a mask, but it's like a person's face. And so it looks stretched out, but it's because it's someone wearing a mask over their, like a person's face over their face, and so it looks stretched out. And so he keeps asking, I don't know the two girls' names.
Bethany and Chelsea.
And which is which?
Bethany's the one that gets loose.
So, Chelsea. So the tall man keeps asking Chelsea where it is.
Yes.
So we find out that Chelsea took a necklace from Bethany.
Yes.
And it looks the same as the necklace that JJ has.
Yes, from her sister.
So they find out that the BAU finds out that Bethany had a secret boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so they go to the train car to investigate, but when they get there, well, I think we kind of saw it, but basically Bethany was in on the tall man kidnapping them.
Yes.
And so she just walks out of the ropes because
she stabs Chelsea.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She walks out of the ropes because she tied her knot in a way where she could open it.
I thought you were going to say she walked out of them.
And then she goes around and stabs Chelsea in the stomach.
And she tells Chelsea she loves him.
Yeah. So they end up, the BAU arrives and they end up taking her to the hospital. Chelsea, they got stabbed. And they're trying to figure out where Bethany went. And we see Bethany went to the school. Yeah. And she gets knocked out. And JJ figures out, because they do the same thing with her where she closes her eyes and remembers, don't they? Kind of. And so she remembers when she was a kid, right after Rosalind killed herself. Did we mention that happens? Yes. I don't think we have yet. Okay.
I think you did earlier.
Yeah, I did. So basically we find out she what was I?
It's kind of cool the way they do this, because she remembers her boyfriend that she had, and that's actually one of the people she interviews. She's basically accusing him of...
Well, it's the dad of one of the girls.
Right, and she basically is kind of accusing him of being responsible for all of this.
Yes.
Because he was Rosalind's last boyfriend. Well, then we find out through this repressed memory that they had broken up, and that Rosalind had a different boyfriend that she wouldn't tell anybody who it was.
Yeah.
And he's the one that the necklace came from.
Yes.
So then you were talking about Bethany being at the school.
Well, I was talking about a different flashback.
Oh.
So, JJ is having a flashback, and she's sitting on the couch after the funeral, and I don't know that one girl's name, because I haven't seen up that far, and so I don't remember it very well, but it's that new girl. She's questioning her and about it, and JJ I think it's her that's questioning, but JJ figures out that the person who was looking at her after that was the guidance counselor she had talked to at the school earlier. So she thinks it's him. And so, do they go to his house and get him? Or do they call him in for an interview? I don't know if we see.
Don't they go to school?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm not sure then.
I think maybe we just cut and he's there.
Okay.
And he's in the room and he's kind of upset about it. So JJ gives her gun to one of the other BAU members and then goes in there to interview him. And she acts like he's on his side.
Oh, yeah.
And she acts like, oh, my sister loved you. It's not too late to save Bethany.
Right.
And so JJ ends up telling him, like, hey, if you help me out here, I can get you out sooner, or I can buy you time, stuff like that. And so he ends up saying, I keep her where I keep all my trophies.
Yeah.
And is that all he says?
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the school, and first they check the trophy case, but there's, like, no way to hide her in there. But then they go through a staff door that's, like, to the side of the trophy case, and down into a boiler room that's downstairs, that's kind of below where the trophy case would be. And they find her in a cabinet. They find Bethany in a cabinet. And so basically we find out that I assume the whole time he's been a guidance counselor, he's been doing this to girls.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of them.
Yeah. So one thing we didn't mention, and I didn't catch this, maybe you did, but it says Garcia discovers all 3 girls were knocked out because someone had spread a drug on their phone.
Yes, they do say that.
The 3 girls had to be responsible.
Yes, she does say that.
So I missed that somehow, but it makes sense that...
I think she says that right before the scene where we see... It's right before the scene... I think it's right before the scene where we see Bethany get out of the ropes.
But it makes sense because I'm like, how did one guy get 3 girls?
Yeah.
You know, which obviously was 2 girls, but so that made sense.
Do you think he was actually there asking her about the necklace?
I don't know. Because
I took it, and I maybe, but you know they're drugged and stuff, and she's not in their best friend mind. I thought maybe Bethany was just slipping out of the ropes and putting the mask on and pretending to be the tall man.
Oh, I never thought about that. That would make sense.
But I don't know if that was supposed to be what it was supposed to be, or if it was actually supposed to be like he was coming there. But the way that after Bethany's like, I had to stab her, and like calls him and stuff, I kind of took it as Bethany was doing all of that part,
I didn't
that
think
side.
about that. That makes perfect sense, though.
But it also makes sense why she was wearing the mask and stuff too.
Yeah. So is that the end of the episode?
Yeah, pretty much. JJ, someone talks to JJ and it's kind of like, well, your sister probably gave you that necklace because she knew that you were stronger than she was, and he wouldn't go after you because you're a lot stronger, and you wouldn't put up with it, essentially. So then JJ goes home to her husband and kids. And I like that husband, that actor, because he plays Phoebe's brother in Friends.
Is that the same guy?
I think so.
Really?
I'm about 80% sure. I might be wrong, but I thought it was. If not, they look a lot alike.
Huh.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay. And I feel like he's been in some other stuff I've seen too, but I can't put my finger on what. And maybe I'm wrong. But I thought it was.
Josh Stewart. His name is Josh Stewart, and my phone's being slow.
Okay. Did you find him through looking up Criminal Minds or through Friends? Okay.
Criminal Minds, The Rookie, 11 episodes of The Punisher.
Am I wrong?
He's in Insidious: The Last Key.
Okay.
He's in The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. Who's he in The Dark Knight Rises? Oh, wait, I haven't seen that one. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't see Friends on here.
Is The Dark Knight Rises the one with Heath Ledger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I have seen that one. I was thinking of it. I haven't seen the one with Bane. But anyway, I thought they were the same guy. I guess I'm wrong.
Barsad in Dark Knight Rises?
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Anyway, I thought they were the same guy. I guess I'm wrong. Well, he's been in something else I've seen, I think. I don't know, though.
He's played by... Her brother's played by Giovanni Ribisi.
Okay. Well, I was just getting him mixed up then.
We've talked about him before. I feel like I know that name.
I think he was in something. I don't know.
But...
Do they actually look alike, or am I crazy?
Not really.
Okay, then I must just be confusing. I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
So, if you guys have a favorite episode of Criminal Minds, let me know. I really think I'm going to start binge watching the show from the beginning. But I just hope it's not like Supernatural and I get burned out on it.
I kind of did, but I was also I was really binge watching it. So I think maybe if you kind of space it out better, it'd probably be.
Well, it's not like I have time to sit down and really binge watch much anymore.
I've been watching The Mandalorian because I haven't seen it, but I want to go see that new movie when it comes out.
Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Alright, guys. Well, that's the end of our episode for this time, but we will see you next time.
And like Mom said, if you have any Criminal Minds episodes you recommend for us, or any episodes from any other show, or any movies you want us to cover, let us know. And have a great day.